Hello and welcome to the lesson. So today I'm going to show you how to play Sex on Fire by the Kings of Leon. Now the great news is it's a simple song. The parts are straightforward and they're easy to learn, and I think you'll be able to memorize it very quickly. And there is a lot of parts to learn. There's the intro, the verse, the chorus, the lead parts, and there's different guitar parts to learn for each one of those, okay? So there is a lot to get through, but it's going to be fun. And the first thing I want to show you is the intro. It's going to sound like this. Okay, now the first thing I want to say is I've zoomed the camera right in onto the guitar neck so you can see what I'm doing. And just for a point of reference, I want to tell you that this is fret 12. Now most guitars have got 2 dots on fret 12, but on my guitar it's just got this kind of rectangle sort of shape, okay? Just so you know where we are. Now I'm going to ask you to put your 3rd finger onto the 5th string at fret 16. Now make sure you're on fret 16, make sure you find the right place, and put your 1st finger on the 5th string at fret 14. Hold them both down. Now I want you to pluck the 6th string open. Now I want you to pluck the 5th string with these 2 notes being held down, and I want you to pluck it once and pull that first, well, the finger away like this. So pluck, like that. That's a pull off. I presume you know that already. So a pull off is when you're holding down 2 notes, you pluck it once and you pull the finger away. And that creates the 2nd note automatically, okay? So it'll sound like this. Now pluck the 5th string where it is. Keep that 1st finger held down on fret 14. Give it a pluck. And then pluck the 6th string open. And then the 5th string again. And then the 6th string again. And then the 5th string again. Okay, so look at the tab at the bottom of the screen. It's actually very simple, okay? So if I join it together, it'll sound like this. Now, I want you to repeat that round 4 times. So let me show you. There you go, that's 4 times. Now the pull off is tricky, and if you want to, some of you might prefer to slide the note down. So if you wanted to, you could do it like this. But that's up to you. Whatever feels most comfortable is fine. Now, the guitarist moves on to this shape. So he's holding down the 6th string at fret 9, and then I'm using my little finger on the 5th string at fret 12, and I'm using my 3rd finger on the 5th string at fret 11. So it's the same picking pattern. Pluck the 6th string, pluck the 5th string, and pull off fret 12 off to fret 11. And then the 5th string, 6th string, 5th string, 6th string, 5th string. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Just look at the tab at the bottom. So if I join it together in slow motion, it'll sound like this. And of course, if you wanted to, you could use your 3rd finger to slide from fret 12 down to fret 11. So you could do it like this. Okay, now that is what the lead singer plays. He plays it on the intro, and then when the drums and bass and the other guitarists come in, he carries on playing it. And then when the verse starts, when he starts singing, he carries on playing it. Okay? He plays it right up to the chorus, and then on the chorus he plays something different. So this thing gets repeated round and round over and over again. 4 times on the 1st position, 4 times on the 2nd position. 4 times, 4 times, 4 times, 4 times, backwards and forwards. So let me just give you a bit of full speed example of this. Okay, once you get the hang of it, it's actually straightforward. It takes a bit of practice, but I think you'll be fine. Just persist with it. Now, what I want to tell you is what the other guitarist starts to play. Because once the singer has started on this riff and moved down to that second position, the other guitarist starts to play this. Now it sounds simple, and it is simple. He's using a bit of distortion on the amp, and use a finger to hold down the 4th and 3rd and 2nd string all at fret 9. So it's like a mini bar, okay? Now I'm using the plectrum to pluck upwards. I'm plucking the 2nd string and the 3rd string and the 4th string. Okay, it sounds quite harsh, but that's what's happening. Now, every time he plucks it, you mute the notes with the palm of your hand to stop them. So you play, and then you use the palm to stop it, like that. And when you play it at full speed, you'll get the hang of it, and it'll sound like this. So it's like punctuated. I hope that makes sense. Because if you didn't do that, it would sound like this. And that would be horrible. So to give it a bit of rhythm, we stop the note in between. Okay? So that's what that other guitarist plays on the intro. Now, when the verse starts, when the lead singer starts singing, the other guitarist stops. And all that's happening is the singer is playing his part. Okay? Now, then what happens? Halfway through that verse, the other guitarist comes back in again with a clean guitar sound. It goes like this. One of the things I like about this song is it merges all these different guitar parts. There's several different guitar parts, including the bass guitar as well. And they all merge together to create an overall sound. And it's almost as if the individual parts on their own, in isolation, don't do the song justice when you play them alone, but when they're all merged together, that's where that magic sound comes from. So this part is played by using your first finger across strings 4, 3 and 2 at fret 4. Okay, so that's a mini bar again. Now, what I want you to do is start just by plucking the 4th string that's held down at fret 4. You're going to pluck it and hammer your 3rd finger onto the 4th string at fret 6. So that's a hammer. And then pluck the 3rd string that's being held down by the bar, and then the 2nd string, and then back to the 3rd string. And now put your little finger on the 4th string at fret 7, give it a pluck. Step down onto the 4th string at fret 6, give it a pluck. And then play the 4th string at fret 4. So it'll sound like this. Now you can see when I did the hammer, I kept that 3rd finger held down and it sustained the note so that when I play the other notes, they all merge in together. They sustain over each other like this. Okay, there you go. A little bit of practice and you'll have it fine. Now, he uses a little bit of palm muting, gently using the palm of your hand, just to touch those strings a little bit right by the bridge of the guitar, and that makes it sound a little bit muted like this. Okay, not too much palm muting. If your palm is too far along, it'll kill the notes completely and you won't hear anything. If it's too far back, they'll be completely unmuted. But with that palm just on the bridge of the guitar, just muting those strings a tiny little bit, it'll sound like this. Okay, it's a lovely part. Now that guitarist comes in with that halfway through the verse when the lead singer is singing. Now I don't want to get too bogged down with trying to describe where all these parts slot into the song. I'd much rather focus in the video lesson on showing you how to play the parts, and then in the PDF document you can examine exactly when to play each part. Otherwise it takes too long for me to explain it. It's really a waste of the video time, so I'd rather show you how to play the parts and you can stitch them all together afterwards with the PDF document. Okay, now it's time to show you that fantastic lead part, which sounds like this. Okay, now you can hear I put the distortion onto my amp, and I've actually got a little bit of reverb on the amp and a little bit of echo using a Boss echo pedal, but that's not essential. As long as you've got the distortion sound, it'll sound cool. So it starts off with the 3rd string at fret 9. Hold it down and pluck with the plectrum down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, like this. And if you want to make it extra cool, you can play the first note by sliding up. So start with your fingers somewhere lower down the neck, maybe fret 2. So pluck, and then slide up the string all the way up to fret 9. So that'll be your first note. Now do the same, slide all the way up to fret 16. Okay, so that's fret 16 on the 3rd string. Now keep the finger where it is. I'm using my middle finger. 3rd string at fret 16, and put your 3rd finger right next to it on the 2nd string at fret 16. Now what I want you to do is pluck both those strings, the 3rd string and the 2nd string, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, like this. I hope that makes sense. So let me demonstrate from the start. And now we're going to go to here. What this is the middle finger on the 3rd string at fret 13, and the 1st finger right next to it on the 2nd string at fret 12, okay? So make sure you've got those correct. And again, we're going to pluck strings 3 and 2, both those strings. Okay, now we're going to do that awesome bend. Okay, so hold down the 1st string at fret 11, put your 3rd finger on the 2nd string at fret 14. So, and I'm using my middle finger right below it on the 2nd string to help push, because the 1st finger is going to stay where it is, and these two are going to bend the 2nd string upwards, okay, at fret 14. So you pluck both strings, the 2nd string and the 1st string, like that, and bend again. And then release the bend and just play the 2nd string at fret 14. So it's like this. Now do the bends again. And what you're going to do is finish with the 2nd and the 3rd string both at fret 9. So I'm holding my finger flat across both strings at fret 9. I'm using my plectrum to pluck upwards. Plucking upwards on the 2nd string and the 3rd string. Both together in one pluck, okay? Now let me join this lead part all together so you can make sense of it. There you go, and at full speed. What is the lead singer playing whilst he's singing the chorus? Here's what he's playing. It's simple, and in amongst all the other parts, you know, the bass player, the other guitarist, the drums, the vocals, you can't really hear it, but that is what he's playing. Now, what it is the 1st finger on the 5th string at fret 7. Now, I'm using my little finger to play the 3rd string at fret 9. Now, here's what's interesting. I'm using the back of my 1st finger to gently touch the 4th string, but not hold it down. We're not playing a bar. I'm holding down the 5th string with the tip of my finger, but like I say, the back of that finger is touching the 4th string, and that's vital, because I'm going to ask you to strum strings 5, 4, and 3. And we're muting the middle string, so we won't hear it. So all you'll hear is the note being held down by the first finger and the little finger on the third string. Now, it sounds more complicated than it is. All we want to hear is the fifth and the third string and not the note in between. And that's why I'm using the back of the finger to mute that fourth string. And that allows us to strum all three strings, the fifth, fourth and third string, but only hear the fifth and the third string. I hope that makes sense. Strum down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then strum 5 more. Down, up, down, up, down. That's a total of 13 strums. Now move these notes up. So you're now on the fifth string at fret 9, the little finger on the third string at fret 11. And there's 3 strums remaining. Up, down, up. So it's 13 on this position, 3 on this position. Okay? And naturally, when you move up for those last 3, it has to be up, down, up, because that's consistent with the strumming cycle. Okay? Okay, now there's one more bit I want to show you. It's a lead guitar part that happens at 2 minutes and 30 through the song. What happens is they break it down just to the drums. It's kind of like a drop back bit. While he's singing the chorus, everything cuts out, but the guitar plays this. Okay, so what that is the fifth string at fret 7. Pluck it twice, so that's down and up with the plectrum. Then play the fourth string at fret 6, and then do it again, and then again, and then the third string at fret 6, and then go up to the bend that we did as part of the solo. That's when you hold the first string at fret 11, and then you bend the second string at fret 14, using this other finger to help push. So this string stays still, the second string at 14 bends, you pluck both strings, do it again, and then just play the second string at fret 14. And then do the bends again, and then play the third and second string both at fret 9. You'll recognise that bit from the solo. So the point is, it goes like this. And then play the solo as it usually is in the chorus, like this. And then they carry on with the chorus in the usual fashion, okay? I hope that makes sense. Okay, now I got to tell you, like I said right at the start of the lesson, these parts are simple, as you can see, but stitching them all together, that's the difficult bit. Because with this particular song, with this particular band, it's not a song that you can just play with one guitar on your own. It kind of requires all the other musicians in the band. And it's all their parts. When they join together, that's what creates the sound. So somebody asked me the other day, can you show me how to play, Sex on Fire by Kings of Leon? And I thought to myself, well, unless you've got 4 pairs of arms and 3 guitars and a bass guitar, you're not going to be able to play it on your own, okay? So that's why it requires all these different parts. It's unfortunate, but, that's just the way this song is, okay? So don't get frustrated with that. Just choose the coolest parts and just play the bits that you enjoy playing most. So you might choose to start off with the intro. You might choose to switch to the other guitar part that goes like this. And And then when you get to the chorus, you might want to play the lead part. And then you might want to go back to the intro. Okay, now I can hear some of you at home thinking, Ben, but just show me the whole thing from start to finish. Well, unfortunately, like I say, unless you've got 6 pairs of arms and 3 guitars, you're not going to be able to do it, okay? So it's just one of those songs. You just got to play the parts you enjoy, unless you're fortunate enough to have a band. If you've got another guitarist and a bass player and a drummer, and then you can play this whole thing completely authentically, exactly how the Kings of Leon play it. Okay, so I said it already in this lesson, please go to the PDF document. In that document, it explains clearly when to play each one of these parts. It explains how they all fit together, okay? That's not what the video's for. The video is so I can show you the parts. Now, there's one more little bit I want to show you, because when they recorded the album, they did an extra guitar track. They multi-tracked and they put some extra bits in. You have to listen very closely to be able to hear it. But while the real singer and the other guitarist are occupied playing their parts at a live concert, on the album they recorded a bit that plays like this. Okay, now very simply, all it is the first finger across strings 4, 3 and 2 at fret 9. And you can clearly see that I'm plucking down and up, okay? Now you can see I'm using my thumb to mute the 6th and the 5th string, to touch them, to make sure they don't make a sound. Because I only want to hear the 4th, 3rd and 2nd string. Okay? So I've done that 4 times. Da-da, 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 da-da. And then you play it a 5th time, but you put your 3rd finger on the 3rd string at fret 11. And that changes the sound like that. And just check the tab. You can see what exact notes I'm playing. Okay, so it's... And then carry on. Do it again. And then from then on, upstrokes, okay? Simple. I mean, I'd love to tell you more about it, but that's it. It's simple. There's nothing to it. It's a very simple part, okay? Now, thank you for listening. Go to the PDF. See how all these parts join together. Learn each part. Put the CD on of the original Kings of Leon. Play along with it. Enjoy it. Play the bits you enjoy playing. And if you want to get a band together, get your friends together. You know, play it all together. Stitch all these parts together. It's an incredible song. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Go and enjoy playing it. Bye-bye.